Hello guys, and welcome to the last episode of Laythe or Bust, the Return to Kerbin. Yes, these intrepid explorers are going to be going back to Kerbin after their long journey around exploring the surface, the air, and the oceans of this world. The two Kerbals in this plane have travelled far, about 1/3 from their base in exploration, setting off charges on the surface to explore the interiors of the planet, testing the high altitudes of this world as it has oxygen. Is it the same as Kerbin? Does it have an ozone layer which protects it from the UV radiation from the sun? Does this world have a magnetic field? With all the results that these Kerbals bring back to Kerbin, we will finally know the answers to it. We could have sent probes to find all this out, but where is the fun in that? But right now we have something much more important, much more difficult to do. In fact, most of my landings I end up as in a big ball of flames. So what I do, I circle the base a couple of times, reducing the speed, and it will bring it down. I decide to go uphill. The reason is we can overshoot the runway, turn around, and then coast back towards the landing site. We almost hit something though on the landing. Luckily, we do not. But we have landed. Now it's time to get these Kerbals out. We have Western Dodo and Chris Kerman. These, I think Western Dodo is our expert pilot, and Chris is our expert engineer who was the one setting off the explosions. Well, you need a pyrotechnician on the mission, don't you? The only problem with this design, especially with the crew cabin, we have to transfer the crew into the cockpit to get them out on the hatch. Otherwise, it's a good design. It flies quite well at slow speeds, I think 40 meters per second to get it airborne. Also, I love the Kerbal follow mod, especially when they do derpy things like this. I thought I had to include that. And these are our other two intrepid explorers, Rubik's and Joshua C137. And if you look at this thing goes hella fast. It doesn't actually. I just sped the video up. It's 4 times speed. And then put the afterburners on. It makes it look like it goes really fast. Otherwise, this is just limited about 26 meters per second on the surface of the ocean. Even slower on land, believe it or not, unless you're going downhill. The only problem with this design, I used tweak scale for the wheels to be able to let it float in the ocean. However, with the jet engines on the land, because the rover wheels don't have enough power to pull up a hill, it still goes really slow. It can't go up steep hills. Also, the wheels are easily damaged when you go over small jumps. Yeah, going in the ocean with this is the safest way, I think. Anyway, let's get the Kerbal out. Rubik's is our expert engineer. He is able to repair any wheel at any place, on any plant, with any materials. Still wonder how the Kerbals do that. Anyway, these Kerbals have been limiting their research to the surface, the landlubbers, and the ocean-dwelling creatures that may be living underneath. Obviously, they don't dive deep. I was thinking of including a submarine in this, but no. And Rubik's, you're a crazy driver. Yes, you are. Smashing into the water like that. But, however, right now, the Kerbals get a communication that there is a storm heading over the entire planet. Like on Mars, you get a dust storm. This is going to cover the entire globe. So they have to return. The wind speeds are increasing. The storm front is heading towards the base, so as quickly as possible, and almost killing themselves and flipping out of control, they return. Leaving the rovercraft for the last time, they get out, collecting all the data that they require. And then the winds arrive. The winds have been reported to be over that of the launch craft safety limit. So if this strikes now, they will never be able to return. It will blow over the craft, destroying all the equipment. So one by one, the Kerbals must board as quickly as possible. time is of the essence, and that is why I'm showing you every Kerbal at every point. You can see the wind is picking up, it's blowing the craft down the hill, it's wobbling about. Now the last Kerbal is getting on board. He's put his helmet on because the winds are so bad, blowing dust in his eyes. Almost there, almost to the top. Quickly, Joshua C-137, get in! And then suddenly a big gust of wind blows the craft, knocking Joshua off the ladder. Unable to get up and not able to communicate with the others, they decide that he is dead and they have to launch now. If they do not launch now, they will never get off this world intact. So they launch on a trajectory that will get them a rendezvous with a craft that is in orbit. Unable to contact the Kerbal Space Center to let them know that Joshua has bit the dust. They race to get up into orbit. And that they do. Now that the Kerbals are getting into space, they all look at the empty seat, and for some reason they're still smiling in their pictures, but we'll forget that for the moment. They're all saddened by his loss. But they have a mission. They have to return to Kerbin. They also have families to return to. We're not sure if Joshua's got a family. He'll have to let us know. Anyway, if you want to dock with a craft, I suggest you do this. You try to line yourself up, back off a bit, and then slowly forward up. Make sure you're in line with the docking port, and use the nav ball to make sure you're aligned with it, and then bounce off it. Then you realise that you're out of RCS fuel, then transfer the Kerbals across. First of our corp, first Western Dodo, then Rubik's, the Great Wolf, Keaton Crawford, Chris Kerman, all have boarded the return craft. Now they dump all the communications satellites, all the satellites, to leave them in orbit around Laythe. Perhaps they could use them to communicate with Joshua, but they still don't know he's alive. Anyway, they are there to study the moon that they are orbiting while the Kerbals are gone, to continue with the science that they have gathered. Perhaps there's more that they can learn. But now, let's plan the return. Okay, so the way I've returned in this mission is by using Laythe. Wait until Laythe is in the right position and make sure that Jewel is in the right position for a return to Kerbin, and then slingshot, basically use the Allbirth effect of Laythe to get the higher speed and slingshot around Jewel on the way back to Kerbin. Sort of, like that, basically. It all gets a bit complex, and I do have to make some course corrections on the way because I messed up the maneuver. But now they are on their way to return back to Kerbin. But with 2 more maneuver nodes to fire off, they should return safely and with plenty of Delta V. And that Delta V will be required because this craft is terrible at entering the atmosphere of Kerbin as we approach it right now. Okay, this is the worst part of the mission. Launching from Laythe, not so bad. Getting return trajectory, little bit more difficult. Getting this to not disintegrate on re-entry because it keeps on flipping out because I'm using the inflatable heat shields, very difficult. In fact, I think we lost 2 Kerbals doing that in total on the dual missions. So what we're going to do here, we've got 8 minutes of fuel, about 2,000 meters of Delta V to burn off. So that's what we'll do. And then when we come to the final burning, we'll try to make sure that we're not going to skip off the atmosphere, we're not going to go back into deep space, and we're not going to burn up directly in the atmosphere. So we're balancing it, basically. I'm moving the trajectory to make sure that we get this white line. If you want to know what the white line is the trajectories mod, and when you enter an atmosphere, you know that it's going to slow you down, and the trajectories mod just shows you how you're going to slow down, how it affects your craft, which I think is a cool mod. You can plan re-entry, you can plan pinpoint landing as well. Okay, here we are for the first part. We do a slow rotation. Well, no, not too fast. I don't think this craft is properly balanced, and that's why we shimmied out of control there. But hey, I'm not perfect. And the rotation is supposed to sort of like help you keeping everything even across the entire craft. Therefore, if it tries to push you up, if you swirl around, it pushes you in the opposite direction. That's the theory, and sometimes it works. Also, it means that if you get heating damage on any other parts of the craft, you should get it equally across the entire surface of the craft, and hopefully things won't blow up. Like Kerbals and command capsules, and all the essential stuff like parachutes, because they'll need them. Although in this version, each Kerbal has their own parachute. Unless that's part of the DLC. I keep on forgetting what parts are what in this. Anyway, we're here. We're on the final re-entry. Were they going to survive? Don't know. But we're going to find out. And here we are. We start to raise our apoapsis again from the atmosphere, but now there is no chance. No second chance here. We are re-entering. Will we survive? You could skip this bit of the video and find out if we do, but that would be cheating and it will be over soon. We're landing on the dark side of Kerbin. Seems fitting. I don't know why it seems fitting, I just thought I'd say that. Because sometimes I don't know what to say in the commentary. But hey, we have survived. Okay, that's not a surprise. Most of them do survive. This is the bit now coming up where everything goes tits up. Literally, because we'll attach those two tits on the bottom there. They come and destroy other parts as they decouple. So here we go. Parachutes open. And damn it. We almost lost a Kerbal there. But luckily, all the Kerbals survived. And in fact, all the Kerbals had parachutes, which is very lucky. So hey, we have done it, Laythe or bust. Kerbals have returned. Joshua will not have died in vain, but we'll soon find out that he has survived in vain. I'm more beta. Trust me, I'm an engineer. And Joshua shall return.